Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Evans and this is going to be my back to school or intro video for Algebra 1. Just want to make a little YouTube video for all you parents that want to, if you got lots of kids that you try to get around to different schools and you can't make it, or if you just want to touch base on the policies. I'm going to try to make this very clear. My email, evansdj@pwcs, is the best way to get in touch with me. This will be my 20th year teaching math in Prince William County Schools, my 4th year teaching at Patriot High School. I've taught taught Algebra 1 maybe, 12, 13, 14 years, somewhere in that time frame. I'm really excited about working with our students this year. I know summer was a little short, but I'm really excited about having them back in the classroom. A little bit about myself. I grew up in the area. I lived in Centerville for most of my life. I went to Paul VI High School, and then I went to Catholic University where I got a degree in secondary math education, and I played football there. And I've been a Prince William County employee since graduating. A little bit sort of about my why in teaching kids. You know, I believe that mathematics is a confidence subject. There are certain students that may have innate abilities to be better at math than others, but I think an ultimate student success in math has to deal with confidence. And that's what I try to do in my classroom, is build up students' confidence that they can achieve success in math. And that's really my goal, and for them to be successful and pass the class and pass the Algebra 1 SOL, which will take place at the end of the year. I want to hit on a couple of main things that are probably on your minds. First thing is grades. Summatives are 80%, and then formatives are 20%. Okay? For us, our summatives will take place on a daily basis. I don't do tons of big summatives. What oftentimes we will do is summatives on what the students learned the class period before, or maybe the class period before that. So they're short. They're somewhere between 3 and 8 questions long, and I'll get into this when we get into our typical day. But that's where the summatives come in. Formatives are 20% of the grade, and that's basically classwork. Students get a grade every day if they complete all of the classwork. So if they do all the classwork, they get 100%, even if it's not correct. But I'll show you how Go Formative works in a second. But the concept is that students should be completing the classwork in class, and if they don't, they can finish it at homework. And I'll show you Go Formative, which allows us to do that. Okay? Retakes. Okay, I know that's a big thing. All right, all you need to do to do a retake on a summative is do the following. Number 1, make sure all the classwork is completed. Okay, if you're missing the classwork for that summative, all right, I'm going to ask you to do that first. Okay, and that's in Go Formative as well. Second thing, corrections on the summative. Okay. All right, on paper, handed to me. Okay, so once that happens, you can get a retake, and you can do that retake during flex or after school. Okay, all right, so you retake any summative you want. Okay, typical class. Let me walk through a typical Algebra 1 class. Typical class is students will come in. Okay. All right, if there's a summative for that day, we will do that summative right at the start of class. There's no review. I give the students a couple minutes to look at their notes, to look through their classwork, but then we're going to start the summative. Summative is 3 to 8 questions long. Sometimes it takes kids 10 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes. We then get into the lesson, okay? And then what I'd like to do is I like to teach a little bit, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and the students work, all right? And I go around and I help and I check every problem, and if anybody's struggling, I try to help them. And we go through all that until the classwork is completed, okay? If the students don't complete the classwork, it is for homework, all right? The next class they come in, they'll have a summative on that. And that's a typical day. Sometimes some lessons run longer, and we might not have a summative every day, but you should probably plan on one. I usually tell the students right at the end of class. So that's a typical day, okay? A couple other things, the calculator. We use Desmos, which is a free online calculator, or you can use the app, okay? It's just Desmos Graphing Calculator, all right? And in Algebra 1, that's what we use. So Desmos Graphing Calculator is a link in Canvas. There's an app for it. There's all kinds of access points for it, okay? Course materials, okay? So one thing that was great out of COVID, not a lot, that sounds sort of bad, but one thing we got as educators was great out of COVID was we created lessons, okay, all right, for our students, all right. Now, I teach a typical lesson from the board the old-fashioned way, all right. Some students may need extra resources. Some students may be absent on certain days. If you go to our Canvas course and go to the modules, okay, if you want to read the syllabus, that's fine too, okay, all right. But if you go down into like combining like terms, okay, all right, the distributive property, all that kind of stuff, okay, or evaluating expressions, all right, you can click on these links, okay, and they have YouTube videos, okay, all right. Give that a second. And that YouTube video is me teaching the lesson. Now, sometimes the lessons get better as the years go on, so it might not be 100% exact, but if you miss, it's a way to sort of catch back up, okay? So there's that. You don't have to watch these. These are just, extra resources if you should need them. Also, underneath the same thing, there's a link. If you need notes, okay? All right? If you need notes, there are notes from the lesson, okay? All right, so if there's ever an issue with notes, all right, things of that nature. The big platform that we use is GoFormative, okay? GoFormative.com, okay? Every student already has a free account. They'll show you how to log in. Okay, so this is a typical classwork day, all right? The problem, okay, all right? The students can put in the answer, it marks it green or red, okay? All right, if you complete all the classwork, and as you can see, a couple people did not, okay, all right, you get 100%, all right? That's the typical thing. They can do problems right there.